Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined in studio by Sharon McNamara, broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I will admit that every single time I say, you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable, I look at our little sign as if I've never said it before, so I don't get our show name wrong. It's just, I do it every time, and then I think about it after every single time. So I thought I'd say it out loud, so hopefully I can stop that.
Yeah,
I know we've been doing this for a long time.
You've got this down. You know how to do all this.
Yeah.
And I know we have Tim in the studio. Good morning, Tim.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
It's Melissa. I hear you reading the sign. Make sure you get it right. If it was me, I'd be doing the same thing. So no shame in that.
I know.
What's the show again? Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, where am I?
Yeah.
I said to Sharon, I called Sharon earlier, and I go, wait, where am I? I was standing in the office.
Oh boy.
My brain has been mush lately.
Yeah, well, you've been a little busy.
I've been a little busy. That is so true, Tim.
It is. And it's a busy time of year, but it's the most magical time of the year. We'll save the ears of all of
Wonderful
our listeners.
time.
Sorry, guys.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's the
Wonderful.
wonderful mode. Yeah. Maybe you can play that later for us. But Tim, how have I missed you so?
I missed you too.
Yeah, I haven't been around. It's like Melissa's been taking care of the studio, and
Although Mrs. Grady's done a nice job being co-host.
yeah, she is.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
She just takes over for me. She's
She
so
does.
good
She
at
really
it.
does.
I've been bamboozled into doing all of the shows.
Hey, listen, I needed a break. I'm getting old. It's been a year. But
I was the one who said, I'm getting Tracy. I'm getting this person. I'm getting this person. So, but I love having the Tuesday nights and,
Yeah, Tuesday nights with one of our agents from Boston Connect Real Estate, which is really nice.
Yeah.
We like to showcase them and show the value that they can give as well. And then last Saturday, we opted last minute to do a replay because we had our office party last Friday. So.
Yeah, we had our office party last
Oh,
Friday. It
yeah,
was great.
recovery
Everyone-
overnight for the morning show. Not so much.
Well,
Not so
I
much.
think it was like the day before or maybe 2 days before. We were like, wait a minute.
What are we
doing a
thinking?
show.
Right,
What were we
yeah.
thinking?
It's just, you know what it is? It's a lot of work, and I will tell you, I didn't do much of it at all. Melissa and Julia did everything, and it came out beautiful. It was wonderful. We had a great time, but I have been struggling with some headaches, and I had such a headache. I woke up with it that morning, and it was really hard to get back to sleep. Not back to sleep. It was really hard to get rid of it the whole day, so I didn't feel good. And you know what? I want to know if a doctor is listening, because I don't know if I need to go to a doctor. I have a bloody nose every single morning, and it took me 15 minutes to stop my bloody nose this morning.
Do you have a humidifier going in your house?
I don't, but I have forced hot water, so it isn't dry heat. It's just this thing. So, and I feel like I have a sinus infection, so I should probably go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
not
I know sometimes it happens to me. You get the heat going and it dries out, and
good. Yeah, there you go, and that's the end of it. So, you're listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable and everything about getting bloody noses.
My mother texted me and said, tell her to go to the doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I will, Mom. I will. So this morning on our show, I'm hoping that some people, I have a couple people who have joined us, and I know at least one of them is from Florida. One of them is from Long Island. And I just like to say Long Island. And they are two of the most lovely people that I know. They are friends of mine, and I've never met them in person, but I consider them friends.
It's like going back in the MySpace days. It's like you have all these friends online.
I don't know what
like,
that is. Right?
I know. You can ask your daughters.
So, yeah. So, we were going to talk about snowbirding, and this was going to be our topic last week, and it just seemed very relative to what happened in our weather last week. Last Wednesday, we got some snow, which was, I will admit, it's really pretty to look at. But then, by the time February comes, it's like enough, right?
Yeah, it's like enough is enough.
It's just, boof. And white, like the snow is nice when it's like nice and white and fluffy and everything looks really pretty. But then like my dogs trample all over it. And I was that mom, by the way, that like I would say to my kids, like, oh, like play on this side of the yard. So like when I look out the window, it was always nice.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That's probably, I gave them a terrible childhood. No, I didn't.
No,
I was
you
a good
didn't.
mom. I was a good mom. So, so again, I do want to let you know that I have Mia Zoll with us, and you know what? I think that they can talk right now. So, Mia, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Sharon. I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. I have to tell all of my listeners, Mia is, I hear her name. Did you just see me like light up?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's just one of those people that, so like, like I pick up different words when people talk, right? I think you knew that about me, right? There's certain things that so like there's certain things about certain people. And Mia just like, she makes me have like a joyous heart. Like she's just always so joyful and she's just a wonderful person. So Mia, can you tell our listeners, so again, we're live on the WATD here in Marshfield, Massachusetts. Our office is in Pembroke, but here we are on the South Coast, and we have we're actually South Shore. I'm having a hard time talking today. So we have a lot of people in our area that like to snowbird. So they have said, I've had enough of the snow, even though it looked really pretty, but I am packing it up and I'm going down south and I'm going to stay down there for, well, first they'll say a couple months, but then it ends up being like 6 months in one day for tax purposes, right? So Mia, can you tell all my listeners a little bit about you, what your name is, where the area is that you serve, and everything about you in the industry? And you can also talk about Bailey.
Oh, thank you. First, Sharon, you make me cry. I love you. You're great. Oh, you are one of the smartest realtors. I just hear you talk, and it's like, wow, if I was over there, I would be in her team. I would be with her. So
Yes.
Anyway, my name is Mia Zoll, and I've been a realtor for 37 years before the dinosaurs walked, and I've sold in 4 states. But I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I serve all the surrounding, areas. I go down to Miami. I go up to Boca. But this is a great snowbird area, and let me see. I had a office party. On Thursday when you had yours, I think, Sharon.
Mm-hmm. Last Friday we had us.
Yeah. Oh, we had it Thursday.
Yeah.
Anyway, I drove past the beach, and this was like at 12 o'clock. And it's really breezy here, but it was still warm and wonderful. So it's great. You can go to the beach. And what else? I walk on the golf course every day, and there's tons of places for snowbirds to rent for half a year. There's Airbnbs, and there's all kinds of little condos that you can get. They're more than, maybe 200, 250. It all depends if you want a 1-bedroom or whatever. But then there's great big houses also. But there's so much to do down here. You can go boating. There's parks, all kinds of things to do with the kids. So what other things can I tell you?
Let me ask you this, Mia. So, with the people that you see coming down, that are snowbirding, so to speak, and just people, because you mentioned Airbnbs and you mentioned rentals. So I have a couple questions for you. And if anybody else on our clubhouse room, if you want to chime in, and I know some of you, like we have my friend Anna, who is here from Pennsylvania, and Megan, you're from Long Island. So you may be in the same situation that Melissa and I are in up here, where we see people who have just basically had it with the weather and they want to move that way. So feel free, anybody who's on stage with me in Clubhouse right now, just feel free to jump in when you feel the need. But Mia, one of my questions for you is, are you seeing a certain, demographic from a certain state that ends up on, because you're on the east coast of Florida, right? So I'm wondering, and I'm really hoping that some of our friends that are on the west coast of Florida and in the middle, so I was hoping, and if some of my mods up there could help me, maybe like invite like Rue and people from different parts and, warmer climates. Do you see like a certain state that, like, I know I visit my brother-in-law in Fort Myers. I feel like I'm in Boston. Like, I just feel like everybody from Boston goes to Fort Myers. So is there a certain area that you see that sort of migrates that way?
I see people actually from, the South America. I see people come from the Midwest. They'll come from like Ohio, and a lot of people from New York. But a lot of times they just want to spend like a half a year here, and they close everything up and they come down. There's people from Canada, and a lot of times they'll just do it for half the year. But there's a mixture of people on the east side. On the west side, because I did live in Sarasota and I love it. There were a lot of more Midwesterns, so I think that's funny. You think it's like Boston, and it could be Fort Myers, could be a little bit more Boston or East Coast. But yeah, there's a lot of people from the East Coast also. I take that back.
Yeah, so I actually went to college in Florida, and so I was one of those people. I wasn't a retiree, so I wasn't snowbirding, but I was one of those people that were like, I cannot deal with the winter weather anymore. I grew up in Massachusetts, all over, and I was like, when it was time to go to college, I said, I'm going to Florida. I don't want to deal with, as somebody who actually doesn't like the sun, I still decided to go to Florida. I came back, clearly.
But that changed, though, because now we found you a sunscreen that doesn't...
Yeah, when I go on Sharon's boat, I have my own little sun protector on her boat, so they call it Mel's screen. But yeah, so, it's not just retirees and stuff that are, going to your area or any of the warmer area. It's also, people going for schooling, people going for work and all that stuff. But I feel like...
Absolutely not. Now that people can do things remotely, there are people that are moving down here. They always wanted to.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Jobs, yes, and that we get a lot of those too.
Yeah, that is a great point, because I know people who, work from home and, they work remotely, and I'm always seeing them like traveling and doing all these things. And I'm like, how do you do all that? But it's like they're finally being able to like sort of live the dream that they wanted to do and, travel and still be able to work, which is great. But yeah, obviously Florida is warmer weather than what we're used to. But, Sharon, you've had quite a few clients recently in the past couple of years that have decided to snowbird. But before we move on with snow, with that.
Okay, you got really excited there. Like I got nervous. Like, is the table on fire? What's up?
Not everybody knows what snowbirding is. Yeah. So we should probably start off with that.
Yeah, we probably should have started with that. It was 20 minutes ago that we started. So. Yeah. So snowbirding, actually, I love, because Julia does our agenda for us, right? She's just so wonderful. So I love that she put a little history in there, because that is definitely a show I want to do in the new year, is something on the history of, different towns and things like that. But it says that snowbirding is a seasonal lifestyle where individuals often retire, relocate to warmer climates during the winter. And that is definitely the reason why. I mean, people come here. They just, as you're getting older too, I think what we've seen is lifestyle changes where people want to make life a little bit easier. And I specifically have one in mind where I remember going to their house. It was that 2014 year when we had snow that was 8 feet high, when we had like piles of snow all over the place. And just seeing this man who was he was like 75, and he was out there shoveling the path. And I was just like, oh, this is for the birds. And I wonder if that's where it came from.
I don't know.
Look at that. That was sort of ingenious of
I think
me.
it's because they like migrate to
they
certain
migrate.
places.
Yeah.
So birds.
And that's what they were doing. They were snowbirding. They were like, we're selling this big house. We don't need it anymore. We're right sizing into the right size for us right now. And we're going to have a place down in Florida, and we're going to have a place here. Now, one of the things that you said that I find really interesting is that you have a lot of rentals down there that are long term. So what ends up happening to those in the summer, I wonder?
They rent them out. They rent them out to people that don't want the commitment of a house anymore.
So they'll do long term, so like a full year. So like if I wanted to go down there for 6 months, and by the way, I do, but I can't right now. But if I wanted to go down there for 6 months, you could rent it. Or even I see a lot of people do 1 month, 2 month, whatever. So then the additional 10 months, let's just say I wanted to rent it for 2 months. Then they find someone who is willing to rent it for 10 months? Or they doing it month by month?
It all depends. Usually, if you come down and you rent for a couple months and you go, oh, I really like this, so you maybe look for something. So if you're going to come down like for 2 months, 3 months, there'll be somebody else that will rent it at a lower price, okay, because it's summer, and all the other people, so there's kind of like two different prices. There's like a seasonal price, and then there's a regular price. And there's enough people that want to just come down and try it, or they come down, and spend their 3 months, and then the people that own it will then rent it for the rest of the year. Because there's traveling nurses down here. There's all kinds of people that come down for work for a couple months. Mm-hmm. So it is at a much lower price that they will rent, to get the people in, because you're renting it for like 10 months, 9 months, maybe 6 months. Mm-hmm. But it's usually the people that come as snowbirds. They try it for 6 months, and then they come down and buy something, and then they rent it to somebody else when they're not here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's sort of, my thought process, Mark and I were actually we were thinking about buying something in the Fort Myers area right before they had that big storm. And we were down there looking around at and my thought was, Mark and I are not on the same page with this. That's why we're not going forward, because he wants a single family house, and I would prefer just to have like sort of a condo that has like amenities in it. And what I found when I was down there is that a lot of those condo developments didn't allow like short-term rentals. It had to be like family members. It had to be things like that. The reason I wanted it was more personal, because I wanted to be able to say to my agents at Boston Connect Real Estate, hey, here's a week, pick a week that you want to take you and your family. Like, I'm not going to charge you to stay there. You can just pay, like, I'm sure they have like services that come and clean and do that type of stuff, like whatever. Like, here, you just pay the $500 or whatever to clean after you're done. So that's why I wanted to do that, but I didn't end up doing it, and I'm glad, because there is no Fort Myers Beach anymore.
But you know what? As far as a condo, if you have to weed them out, there are condos where you cannot rent them at all. But then there's condos where you can rent after the first year or after the second year. There's enough condos down here that, yes, it would, like, your supply would be a lot less, but they're still down here. And so that, that's what a lot of people do. And as far as a single family, that would, it would be not harder, but it would be a much higher rent to get for somebody.
Well, I would think, again, this is just because I have a lot of friends that still live in Florida. Like, a lot of those single-family homes are really, like, in these little communities. So you're paying HOA fees and stuff like that. So they will still have, like, a lot of them still have sort of the regulations and stuff. So you would have to go through those documents as well to make sure that you can rent those out, correct?
Yes, and those HOA fees can add up, plus your mortgage on your house, or even if you don't have a mortgage. But there's nice little communities that I love, and they're like one story, and there's like maybe 50, 60 little, they're kind of like cluster houses, but they're still considered condos. Like, I live in an area where the golf course is in the back.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And, so you can do that part-time. And then people just close them up sometimes.
That was what I was wondering is, if you have such a, if you have a lot of snowbirds, and let's just say that they own, and then they decide to close up, I guess it would be the same thing here, because they're closing up around here for 2 months, but so is everybody else. Everybody's inside, so no one notices. I wondered if you had like this feeling of abandonment, like down there, like where you can clearly tell, like, oh, the snowbirders went back north.
I don't think so. I mean, it's not like a complex closes down. It's like,
yeah,
people covered their cars, and there's several people, Canadians, that come down here, and they live down here 6 months, and then they have a neighbor, or they have a management company.
Yeah, I bet you that's big, right? Management companies must be big down there, right? For people to take care of it. Yeah, that's what I would guess. Yeah.
So, they take care of it. And believe me, I wish I would have bought there. And I asked my broker when I moved here, I said, well, what do you think of that area? She goes, well, I don't know. And that area has turned around. Like, not turned around, but people start it's like half a mile from the beach. And so you can still get some properties there. And those, you can do a couple things. Those are duplexes, fourplexes, but sometimes there's some single families on there, and you can live there for a while and, get some equity in there. And then the lots are actually zoned duplex. Mm-hmm. So you could take in, all depends on your situation, or you could come down for 6 months over and over. And then when you finally move down here, build or, go in with some people and build a duplex and rent out half of it. And that's what people do a lot also, is they buy duplex and rent out one half and then just keep the other for themselves. And when they come down, they open it up.
Because I can imagine that having Airbnb down there would be a year-round thing. Because I remember when I was younger, like a bunch of us went, all my friends from Dorchester, we went to Fort Lauderdale. I don't know what they were thinking renting to us. I mean, we didn't destroy it or anything, but we were really young. So, but Mia, I just want to make sure that if I have any listeners here, again, you're listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Sharon McNamara. I'm the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. I'm happy to have all of our listeners here with us this morning. We're live. Oh, excuse me. And I can't... And I have Melissa next to me.
Yeah, I'm Melissa.
Joking. I have Melissa Wallace with me. She is my sidekick. She is our everything here at Boston Connect Real Estate. That's why her name tag on her door says Melissa Wallace, our everything. But if you are listening and you have any questions for us, or any of some people I have sort of remotely waiting that are in some warmer climates, and I have a couple, I'm going to shift gears in a second to somebody who's not in a warmer climate, you can call us at the studio, and Tim will transfer you over to us, 781-837-4900. Again, that number is 781-837-4900. So if you are a snowbirder, you're thinking about snowbirding, because I think a lot of our snowbirds leave right after December 25th. They're on the road and they're going. And in fact, last night, do you know what I did last night? Did I tell you?
No.
So last time, I went out to, I was invited. I'm just going to tell this story real quick, and then I'm going to shift gears over to Megan, who's in Long Island. But last night, I had one of our clients, I sold a house for them, helped them purchase a house. They're actually looking again, so we'll be selling their place and helping them buy another place. They've referred me so many people. They're just wonderful, wonderful people and friends. They referred us to their next door neighbors who they're in a townhouse, and we closed on that a couple weeks ago. And they were having a going away party for them last night at their condo. So they came back and we were able to, hang out with all of them. They're moving to Tennessee. So that's what they decided to do.
Nice.
So, and I felt bad because they're moving to Chattanooga, and when we're on Clubhouse, we all refer different people to each other, but they already had their agent before they actually called me, and so that's why I didn't get that opportunity to do that. But they said for very similar reasons. Some of their reasons were political as well, which was interesting. You know what I mean? Just, they just want a quieter pace of life as well. So, so if you have any questions, again, 781-837-4900. Of course, it doesn't have to be about this topic. Any topic we can answer that has to do with real estate. And I have a bunch of people from around the country that are listening to us. So, Megan, are you with us? Megan Gardner.
Good morning from Long Island, New York.
Yeah, there's Long Island, New York. Yep. And so again, with my words, right, I just always feel like love. And it's interesting because, Megan, tell everybody how you end every time you do a Clubhouse room, how you always end it, like this is her tagline. You're going to love it.
So I always close out our Clubhouse rooms wishing everyone peace, love, and real estate.
You see? And can't you hear it in her voice?
Yeah. And real estate.
Yeah, you can. So, Megan, tell my listeners a little bit about you and where you are now. Of course, you're not in an area where anyone's going to leave, New England to go for a warmer place. But I am curious to see what you have going on in your area in the summertime, because I bet you that you do see a lot of transition around there for even just like weekly rentals and things. So tell our listeners a little bit about you, the areas you serve, and all that great stuff.
Okay, great. So this is Megan Gardner. I'm coming to you from Long Island, New York. I'm located in a town known as Bayshore. It is on the south shore of Long Island, just like you on the south shore. And it's about, if you picture Long Island from west to east, New York City's on the west and Montauk is at the end on the east, and I'm just smack dab in the middle. So it is a great place to be sandwiched. I serve all over Long Island, but generally the central South Shore area of Long Island. We're located on the Great South Bay. I am like 3 or 4 minutes to Robert Moses Beach, to the Atlantic Ocean. So correct. In the summer, people always say, where's your house? Where's your summer house? Where do you go in the summer? Like, you couldn't pay me to leave summer. Like, I live in my summer fantasy place. So that's a great thing. But that being said, Sharon, we have a ton of people who snowbird in Florida. I live in a condo development, and the majority of them, after New Year's, all head down to Florida. Mostly the East Coast, definitely starting to see more West Coast of Florida, but definitely the East Coast, Boynton Beach, Boca, Fort Lauderdale area. So Mia, I'll send them to say hi to you.
Yeah.
That general area. So what we're seeing right now is, or what I love, because I love to serve people who are moving into condos. What happens is they've lived their life in their house. They've raised their children, or they've lived the time that they want to be in their large home or their house. And now it's time for them to downsize, or what we call right size. And they're going to sell their home, and then they're going to purchase a condo here. And then they're also going to get their Florida place. So their condo is kind of their January through April. And then, their Florida place is January through April, and the condo is the rest. So for the summer period, they'll come back up north.
Now, Megan, are you seeing probably very similar to what I'm seeing? And again, I will never bring politics to anything on my radio show because, listen, I just don't. But I do know that a lot of people were flocking Massachusetts at one point, and they were heading to Florida. And I think that had a lot to do with maybe not even politics, but just like tax purposes. So we see that a lot because, of course, I'm sure you've all heard where like our nickname is Taxachusetts, not Massachusetts. So a lot of people were going down to Florida. They end up doing, hey, I'm going to try it for, like, I'm going to rent for a month, and then I'm going to, okay, now I'm going to buy a place and I'm going to stay here for a couple of months. And then they're like, all right, I really like it. I can deal with it. I'm going to stay 6 months in one day. So it's then their primary residence. And one of the interesting things you said, so this is a twofold for you, is it's interesting because you're saying that you're seeing people from Long Island that are going onto the the East Coast, where we're certainly more, I feel like everybody leaving here ends up on the West Coast. So like Naples, Fort Myers, Clearwater, like that whole side. But that's just a interesting thing that I picked up. So I don't remember my first question. Hopefully you do.
So I do, and I'm giving a plug for the West Coast because I absolutely love the West Coast as well. I mean, seriously, like put me on any coast, I'd be happy for sure. But there's much to be desired about Sanibel, Captiva, Fort Myers, Naples. I mean, we were down in St. Petersburg, all getting together. That blew me away. I had no idea. St. Petersburg is off the hook, coming alive. You could feel the excitement just being there. So that being said, you were asking about just in general numbers of people leaving Long Island and going to Florida. And I have to say yes, and that is still continuing. There was I would say back in 2019, maybe even a little bit before listen, we all feel like the pandemic changed everything. Yeah. But even before that, New Yorkers were starting to leave. A lot of it was political. We don't have to get into it, but there were just people who didn't agree with some rules that were put in place for children in schools, and so they decided to set up shop elsewhere, for lack of a better term. Yeah, the pandemic came, and absolutely, people decided to flee New York. One is they didn't want to be in populated areas. And like Mia had mentioned earlier, the possibility of working remotely opened up the world to them. So there was kind of a pent-up demand of people who always wanted to do it. Now they logistically could, and they felt like it was a better choice for how they wanted to live for their lifestyle. And yes, we are continuing to see, unfortunately, New Yorkers and Long Islanders leave just due to, things like, they banned gas. You can't have gas stoves after a certain year.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. So people just, for whatever reason, decide that's not a choice for them.
I also heard they're trying to get rid of, not to interrupt you, but like you brought me there. They also, I heard that they were trying to ban, like brick oven pizzas, like the wood fire. They're trying to do that in Massachusetts as well. And I thought, how can you do that? Like, what will the North End do if I can't have like a brick oven pizza? I don't know.
What would they do without
What would they do without me paying for all that pizza? So,
I think that would be a tough one to pass on Long Island. We love our pizza.
Yeah,
we love our brick ovens. So, just like up in near you in Pembroke. That would definitely be a tough one, I think, to get past. Yeah,
it's interesting too. So I'm actually glad that I had asked you exactly, and you pinpointed exactly where you are, because it's extremely interesting where you're located on Long Island. For me, you're very similar because we're literally probably in the middle of from Boston to Cape Cod. So where everybody is going to, the Cape and the islands and everything. So we have all of that. So one other question for you, because then I want to skip over to Rue, who is in the middle of the state in Florida, are you seeing a lot of people, like I know, like around here, it was actually one of our dreams too, right? Like we'd love to have a Cape house. We would love that, and I just have visions of, my kids getting older and bringing their families and stuff like that. So do you work with a lot of people that are like, hey, Megan, if you get the opportunity and you see any beach homes, like that's what I'm looking for. So those must be vacant in the summer, in the winter.
So, yes, there's definitely a huge turnover or a huge demand for beach homes at the beach. We actually have a barrier beach just south of where I am. It's called Fire Island. It's made up of several different towns. No cars are allowed on the island. Do you have places like that on the Cape?
Yeah, so we have, right here in Plymouth, we have certain areas too. Well, for the majority, cars aren't allowed on our beaches. So it's the opposite for us. So there are certain areas where you can bring, it's called Saquesh. So it's right near Plymouth. So and everyone's heard of Plymouth Rock. Don't waste your money to go see it. I'll send you a picture. But
that was on my list. Okay.
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, no, don't.
You should definitely come see it because you'll see me. But
And the rest of Plymouth, it's a lovely town.
But yeah,
it is a
Plymouth
lovely,
is a lovely
Yes,
town,
it is.
but
Yes.
the Rock is disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little.
Thanks,
And
Tim.
I've been up there a few times. Everyone, all of my close college friends, they all live up outside of Boston.
No.
I'm the only one here on Long Island, so whenever I can, I try and get up there and go.
Perfect. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll see you in the summertime. We'll show you around Plymouth.
Yeah. We'll have a little boat ride too. That's what we'll do.
I would love that. Oh gosh, the Cape,
Yeah,
just gorgeous.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Megan, I don't want you to go anywhere, and I'm hoping I can't really see my phone from where I am. My other phone that has the clubhouse on it, so I hope that Mia doesn't go away either. Because at the end of the show, I want to definitely leave a few minutes so all of my guests get an opportunity to give their information. Because maybe somebody can't get a home down the Cape. It's really difficult, to find one. Maybe they can, go to Long Island.
Same here. It's tough. Seasonal rentals at the beach, getting homes, waterfront homes. They're in demand. There's not a huge supply, so very similar.
Well, the Cape and the islands, they're not that big, and I feel like when you get a Cape house or you get a house on the islands, it's more of like the tease for when you decide to go down south. So it's even the Carolinas, like some places like that, where you like, let's try a Cape house for a little while, because they do have, similar situations like you where you have kids and you're hoping that, one day that they can bring their families and it might be a little bit easier to get down the Cape now than it is to go to Florida or somewhere down south. So traveling.
If I took off for 6 months, I saw Mary come in the door. Would you guys take care of everything if I went down there?
I think we've already told you yes. So I don't know what the problem is, but yeah.
That's what I want to do. But Megan, actually, you said, is it Montauk? How do you say Montauk?
Okay, so Montauk is my favorite go-to place. I'm about a 2 to 2.5 hour drive, or sooner if there's no traffic and I can fly, to get out there. It's the end of Long Island. That's why they call it Montauk is the end. The energy out there. Once you hit a town called Amagansett, the energy just totally takes a dive. It's chill, relaxed.
It's a big boating area too, right?
Lots of boating, fishing, surfing. There's a famous beach called Ditch Plains where surfers go. It's just like you're there, you're in this other world. It feels like you left Long Island and you're in some magical place.
That's awesome. That's how I feel when I go to the Vineyard.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there are places off the Cape or the Vineyard, or I bet you people feel like that about Nantucket.
Yep.
It's just this magical, wonderful place. And it's just great that here on Long Island, we can get there quickly. We can hop in our car and be there relatively quickly. Like Fire Island that I was mentioning before, which is a lot of people from New York City will come out, will drive out, but you have to take a ferry to get there.
Yeah.
Like you can't drive your car over. You got to park your ferry, schlep all your stuff. So it's a whole thing.
It's what it sounds like P-Town for us.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I love P-Town. It's one of my favorite places on earth.
Probably, it's probably similar. I think. Did you ever watch The Affair? I think the show The Affair was in Montauk, right? I think it was filmed.
I think it was set in Montauk. I think they filmed all around the place.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if anybody watches Bravo, but Summer House.
Yeah.
I did see that actually. I saw one episode one time. Yeah.
Right. So we have a few movie sets going on here.
Well, what I'm going to do is I know my cousin this year. My cousin also has a boat, so we're at the same marina, and he went to Montauk. But our summer, we didn't do a lot of traveling this past summer. But I'm definitely putting that on my list for next year. And you're going to have to come out and stay a couple nights with us on the boat. So
I'd love to.
Yeah, and then now I want to switch gears. So please stay tuned because Megan, I want to definitely make sure you get your information out there, and I'm going to try to go quickly because I do want to talk to everyone on stage that was able to come. So I have one of my other favorite people is Rue. Rue, are you with us?
I am with you.
Oh, you still have your cold, huh?
It's she just wants to hang on forever.
Yeah.
She apparently likes the warmer weather.
Yes, absolutely. So Rue is just one of those people, and she just, it's like my eyes sparkle when I talk to Rue. And again, everybody has a feeling when I talk to them. Does that happen to everyone, Mel?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get feelings.
Some are good, some are bad.
Sometimes I have feelings. Yeah,
believe me, some
Sure.
of mine are bad too, and those thoughts I can't say on the radio right now.
Yeah.
But before I have Rue introduce herself, I just want to let our WATD listeners know you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Sharon McNamara. I am the broker owner, and I will say proud broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. We are located in Pembroke Center. So if you're ever in the area, you want to see what our studio looks like, come on by. We're right across the street from Stop and Shop and CVS, and we would love to have you in our home because this is a place that we call home. And I have my sidekick with me today, Melissa Wallace. She's here.
Hello.
And my team member, Mary Baker. She's my team member and partner, Mary Baker. Not Baker, Mary Horton.
Mary
now that she's
Horton.
married. We were out together last night, and she is in the room waiting for a new buyer client to come in so she can do a buyer presentation to them and teach them all about the home buying process. So if you are listening and if you are thinking about buying or selling a home and you would like a consultation, I think you should always start there because there's a lot to learn. Feel free to give us a call, and you can call me at the office, 781-826-8000. Of course, you can text me, 781-294-4848. So I'm going to hop on over. Rue, if you could introduce yourself and where you're located and what you're seeing for snowbirds, and maybe you're not. So tell us, because you're in the most magical part of Florida.
Here we are. So, my name is Rue Clares. I'm a realtor here in Orlando, Florida. I serve the greater Central Florida area, which includes a place called Kissimmee, and that is the home of the most magical place on earth, well, Disney World. And we have right now it's raining, which is our snow, which it's apparently it's supposed to rain all day, which I'm not exactly thrilled about. But in Florida, there are certain areas that have more of an influx than others. However, what happens here, people who love Disney, they have been known to purchase homes here, get an annual pass to the parks, and come here whenever they like. Christmas time tends to be a pretty active visiting time for us. We have a lot of folks that specifically go to the Very Mickey Christmas and all of the activities in Disney and their various parks. I know that there's other theme parks that kind of capitalize on that as well, but Disney usually is the main draw. And as far as snowbirding, there are quite a few people that, because of the Disney draw, live in the Central Florida area so that they have that ability to escape the cold. I think more of the snowbirding tends to happen after Thanksgiving here and then goes into the March area. There are some people that divide their time exactly in half, and then we have many people that historically come from Canada, and they are allowed to have just under 6 months time out of country before they have an impact on their health benefits. So a lot of times they'll come here, right after Halloween or right before Halloween to take advantage of some of those theme park goodness as well, and then they'll stick it through until like the March area, so they can just escape some of those temperatures.
It's so interesting that you said that about the whole Disney and getting a house there and doing the Disney vacation package thing. Because as soon as you said that, I was like, I know two people that live here that have, Disney passes that they'll fly down. Like if the flight is at a certain point, they're like, oh yeah, well, I'll just fly down for the weekend and sit. I know Sharon does not like Disney, but as soon as you said that, I didn't even realize it. I've always just been like, oh, that's great for them. But they will literally drop everything and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to Disney for the weekend. I'm like, cool. Okay.
I have a client and
sorry to jump in. Oops,
I'm sorry. I had a client that she had a whole entire room about Disney. What were you going to say, Meg?
Oh yeah.
I have friends who are Disney day trippers. Seriously, they will get on a plane from MacArthur Airport at 3:30 a.m. They will land in Orlando. God. They will crush it all day at Disney. They'll take, an 8 p.m. flight home, and they did it. That is legit.
That's Sharon's worst nightmare.
See, that's what we call down here the Disney Death March. and the reason, and I think I might be the only one that came up with that phrase, but the reason is you get here the minute, or when you're here, either way, you walk through the gates the minute the theme park opens, and you stay there until it closes.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that bell was for.
Oh, so the bell lets us know that there's 10 minutes left in our show. That's Tim from the studio keeping us on track.
I'm pushing the buttons. Don't mind me.
I love it. But yeah, so you're out dead tired, and then you go home. So that's how we work it down here.
It sounds horrible. I'm sorry. It's just horrible. I would rather do anything than to go to Disney.
You're such a brat.
I've never been to Disney, but I don't think you can do the whole thing in one day. That seems crazy.
No, God,
you need at least maybe 3 days. I don't know.
To do all the parks, yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's more like 5, because there's 4 parks. You can do Animal Kingdom in half a day. And MGM a day-ish. So you might get it to 4, but that's what the Death March is all about.
So, Rue, let me switch gears on that because, it makes me want to, But, so my question is, 1, how many people say kissing me wrong? Because I always thought it was kissing me. It's not?
Many. Many.
It's
my dad, when we first came to Disney, he called it kiss-a-me.
Kiss-a-me.
I like that better. And what is it?
And, it's kiss me. I can't say it now.
Kiss me, or something like that.
Kiss me.
An Italian didn't name that place. I thought for sure it was someone who said kiss me.
There you go.
We have
kiss me, my love. Mwah.
That's funny. We used to have a major Indian population, so a lot of our towns, rivers, streets, counties are named after certain Indian names. So, Kissimmee, and then we have Seminole County, Okeechobee. Sometimes you can't look at the words. It's Altamont Springs, not Altamonte.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Too much. All right. So, other than going to your area, what else can you do? Because there's probably a lot of people who are listening right now that are very similar to me, and I just don't like rides. I don't like crowds. My sensory just goes into overload. My empathy, freaking spidey senses, I just can't handle it. I just can't handle it. So what else can you do in your area if people don't want to, do that type of stuff?
Well, we have a number of different museums. We have art museums. We have sculptured gardens. Polisac is one of those. It's a family-owned garden. We have Lou Gardens, which is a beautiful open-air space. They'll do wine and movies during the summer. We also have a downtown band shell where they'll have Shakespeare in the Park. There's we have the Dr. Phillips PAC where you can go to different theater productions. We also have the Amway Arena where we have basketball, hockey. We also have a soccer team. So there's a lot of different activities that you can do that don't include the mouse. And give you a little different way to put.
But a lot of people do like the mouse. I mean, I'm such a terrible person.
No, you're fine.
It's just weird because you walk through there and it's not a piece of trash on the ground, and it's like,
oh yeah,
that's the point.
I know, I get it. It's a magical place. I know.
And we also do a ton of art fairs, and fair is the wrong word, but we have people come from all over to festivals where we will have major art festivals in numerous cities. Mount Dora, Winter Park is a big one. Disney does have an art in their downtown area, which is more of a shopping area than anything else.
I like Epcot.
Yes, Epcot is the food and wine festival. But
yeah, when is that?
Art is a
Do you
big
know
thing
when that
here.
is?
I think we just missed it. It was the September. They try to do things like that during the slow time. September and May are the slowest months
I'll
in
have to put that on my
Disney.
calendar. Well, I will be visiting you in February, so I will
I'm
be
excited.
down there. Yeah, I'll be down there the end of February because I'm going to a conference. So I'll
It will
certainly.
be cold then.
It will be. Well, cold for you
Yeah.
and cold for me. It's relative, my dear. So
This is a true statement.
yes. So I only have 5 minutes left, if you can believe that. So we can certainly, talk to other people as well. But I want to leave some time when we have just 2 minutes left. It's going to be fast and furious. I'm going to have everybody give their name and their phone number so my listeners can get in touch. And we're going to write them down and make sure that they get out to everybody, too. Anna, I want to talk to you real quick, too, because I'm just curious. In a fast and furious way, are you seeing, because you're in Pennsylvania, so first tell everybody about who you are, where you service, and are you seeing the same thing that Megan and I see with people leaving to go to a warmer climate?
Hey, good morning. Yes, absolutely. That's always been a trend where I'm here in Chester County, Pennsylvania. We're about 40 minutes west of Philly. And so that's always been a trend, not just for the warm weather and the snowbirding. They don't necessarily sell their homes here. People here tend to have second homes at the Jersey Shore, Delaware Beach. And for tax purposes and for political purposes, they do like to 6 months and, as you said, 1 day, spend their time in Florida so that they can, be considered a resident there and then file their taxes as such. I actually have my first Floridian buyer coming here and selling their big, beautiful home in Florida to come here to live on the main line, but that's more of a anomaly. Their daughter is a student now at Villanova, so, and their only child, and I guess they're just, following her. I don't know how their child feels about this.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Yeah,
Please, seriously, Mom?
For sure. It is absolutely the outlier. And as far as buying them as investments, no, I would say they're more legacy building. Those they're not terribly concerned about Airbnb and short term and what the rules are there. If they do quote unquote rent it out, it's person to person, friends, family, things of that nature. So they're not really looking to be concerned about, the rental part. The property management, yes, but not, is this also an investment? Now, that's been historically because when rates were lower, when the values were lower, you could easily pick up a second home and create that investment earlier in your house journeying and owning property. Now, they would like it to be able to be more short term. But, I've been in Megan, I was there too, in St. Pete's with you. John and I go to St. Pete's. We've been going for the last 4 years. We said it the first year, we should buy here. My accountant's been really, trying to get me to do that since 4 years ago, and we were too slow to move, right? So here we are now, we missed that opportunity.
Yeah. So we only have the 2 minutes left, but I did have a question. Well, I wanted to make a statement, but I just want to let our other people on our stage too is we can actually continue next week, Mel, just because, next week
you're
actually,
not going to be here.
Yeah, well, we have Christmas and everything, but I do want to continue. Maybe we could do Tuesday night. Want to do that? I don't know who you have on, but just tell them I bumped them. Well, Kristen, I'll tell Kristen I bumped her. Maybe we can continue Tuesday night because I'd love to introduce, my listeners and our listenership to all the people, wonderful, wonderful people that I know around the country. And if you are a regular listener here on WATD, you know that I don't bring people onto my show that I don't have true confidence in myself. So if I was going to be buying in any of these areas in the United States, it would be with one of these wonderful, wonderful people people that I've brought on stage with you today. One of the things, Anna, that I remember looking at colleges, and we went to Villanova, but you know what school I really love down there is St. Joseph's. That was like one of my favorites down there. Might be a Catholic school thing. This is the end of my show. So real quick, Rue, your phone number?
407-493-5615.
Okay, she is from Orlando. Anna, your phone number?
Anna10k.com. You can get all my contact there.
Perfect. And we have Megan in Long Island.
631-255-3878.
And
I'm singing the Mr. Rogers music.
yes, and Mia.
Hi, Mia Zoll, and my phone number is 941-685-8808.
Perfect.
You guys here.
And if you missed any of those numbers, I promise you can always get them with me, 781-826-8000. You can go to bostonconnect.com and find all of our information in our past shows at talkrealestateroundtable.com. And Melissa, thank you. Tim, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you on Tuesday, everybody. Thanks, everybody on Clubhouse. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Live in a neighborhood with you.